In this lecture, we are going to study about shared memory systems. In the previous lecture, we studied about interprocess communication, where we saw that shared memory systems and message passing systems are the two ways in which interprocess communication can take place. So in this lecture, we will be seeing in a more detailed way about shared memory systems, and we will see what are its features and how it actually works. So here we have a diagram of shared memory systems. So in the previous lecture, we have seen a process A and process B which wants to communicate to each other. That means the interprocess communication has to take place, and in order to do that, shared memory system has to be used. So here is a region of shared memory. It is established, and using this region of shared memory, process A and process B will communicate to each other, so that process A will write whatever it needs to communicate to process B with this shared memory region, and process B will read from this shared memory region whatever process A has written and whatever process A wanted to communicate to process B. So it states here that interprocess communication using shared memory system requires communicating process to establish a region of shared memory. That is what it is told here. So whenever process A and process B, or whenever two or more process wants to communicate to each other using the shared memory system, they need to establish a region of shared memory like the one shown in the figure. So using this shared memory system, they can communicate with each other. So this region is shared between process A and B, so that whenever process A puts here, B can read from here, and whatever B puts here, A can read from here, and then typically a shared memory region resides in the address space of the process, creating the shared memory segment. So we may think that where does the shared memory region actually reside, or where does it come from the thing? So the answer is the shared memory region resides in the address space of the process, creating the shared memory segment. So in this example, we have process A which wants to communicate to B process. So process A will create the shared memory region and will lie in the address space of process A. This shared memory region will lie in the address space of process A. That means process is the one who wants to initiate the communication. So the shared memory region will be created in the address space of the process, creating the memory segment. So the shared memory segment is created here by process A. So the shared memory region, it lies in the address space of A, so that what we mean by this point. So moving on, the other process that wish to communicate using this shared memory segment must attach it to their address space. So what is the other process that wants to communicate here? It is process B. So if process B wants to communicate, then what it has to do? It has to attach the region of shared memory that was created by process A to its own address space. That means the shared memory region is created by process A, which will initiate the communication, and process B must also attach this region of shared memory to its address space, so that we can say that this region is shared between process A and process B. So that is what we mean by the third point. So normally the operating system tries to prevent one process from accessing another process memory. So normally the operating system, it does not allow one process to access the memory of another process. So in normal condition, process A cannot access the memory of process B, and process B also is not allowed to access the memory region of process A. That is not allowed by default in the operating system. But if shared memory system has to be executed, then shared memory requires that two or more process agree to move this restriction. So what was a restriction? So this restriction was that one process memory cannot be accessed by another process. But if we want shared system to work, then the process that are going to communicate must remove that restriction in which the operating system does not allow the memory of one process to be accessed by another process, because this shared region, as I already told you is created in the address space of one of the process. So this process should be able to access this, which is the memory region of the other process, and vice versa. So if that it is not allowed, then it will not be able to access this region of shared memory. So that is why it says the shared memory requires the two or more process agreed to remove this restriction so that they can share and access this shared region of memory. So those were some of the important points that we need to remember about the shared memory system. So the region of shared memory is created by the process initiating the communication, and remember that the operating system itself does not interfere in creating the region of shared memory. Where the region of memory has to be created, it should be decided by the processes that are going to communicate with each other. So this is about the shared memory.